Back with another video. It's been a minute. I've been real busy producing this. That ass, bro. Honestly, I've been thinking about giving her a call, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. She's just been on my mind game. Feel like I should just reach out to her. You know what I'm saying? See what she on. What you think?
I don't know, bro. She been moving mad weird towards you, yo. Like, egging you and just, like, playing you. It don't make no sense to hit her up, yo.
Feel like we falling off. Jumping that there first, and she gotta walk it off. All my ops off. Don't wanna get in that car. That I bet she get you off. Stop the dawn inside the rich. She try and give me sauce, bitch. You know. Bitch, this ain't no freebie. I call my mama, told her, look, your son on TV. I got.
And that's pretty much taking me about a month to work on. For today's video topic, with it being Women's Month, I thought of this idea, and I didn't know it was Women's Month when I thought of this idea, but I thought, hey, what a perfect time to kind of record this, put this out there. Video topic for today is some of the most impactful women that have been in my life, how women have really helped to shape who I am, kind of push me in the direction that I'm in right now. And I think for me, it's a really unique experience as to how women have shaped who I am. And when I look back on just how I've come across certain women in my life and the roles they played and when they were there, it feels very orchestrated and kind of like just almost by design, really, if you will. And for starters, to know and grasp the story I'm about to tell and how what I'm about to share, you kind of have to know my beginning and understand that I didn't grow up with my biological mother. Now, around 5 or 6 years old, if you haven't already seen my first video, I kind of explained that I moved here to the United States from Jamaica, and I lived with my dad and my stepmom. My biological mom had sent me here at a chance of just having a better life, you know what I mean? And only now, looking back at it, do I realize kind of like how that, being separated at such a young age has really shaped who I am and kind of like affected me in growing up and not having like that, that nurturing motherly nature there, just constantly present in my life. But sometimes I wonder if just women have it's typically with women my age of a specific demographic, it's typically with women of a specific demographic around like what my mom's age would be, or just older women in general. And I sometimes wonder if it's almost like a sixth sense, or if I give off some sort of vibe that like I'm in need of mothering or something like that. I don't know. But even to this day, there's kind of like a particular treatment that I seem to like receive from middle-aged women or slightly older, And so to kind of get into everything, kick off how women have changed my life, I'm gonna start with like my earliest memory being middle school. And my history teacher, I believe that was the class we was learning, my history teacher from middle school, she would kind of always encourage me and speak words of life into me and like just tell me that I was very good with my words. And like she would like express that, she saw something special in me and that, she would someday always see me to grow up to like become a lawyer or something like that, you know what I mean? But she was always just telling me that we would do these little papers in class, and the more she would encourage the work that I was doing, the more effort I would put into completing like these homework assignments that she was giving out, to the point where I was just like filling the whole page, just writing everything, you know what I mean? Everything that I possibly could. So I never did become a good lawyer. I never really had intentions to, sorry, but I did. That's something that did always stick with me. And even to this day, 10 plus years later, where I still think back to, just how caring and kind she was to me, and always like kind of making it known that, she really saw something in me, right? So next is my childhood best friend. So from like ages 8 to 16, when I moved into the house that I was living in, I had a friend that was across the street, and every day for like about, I don't know, like 5 or so years of our friendship, we would just sit out at the front steps of my house, sometimes at her house, and we would just talk and talk and talk about anything and everything under the sun. You know what I mean? I would share all my hopes and dreams with her, and, you know, she would kind of do the same and share hers with me. And there wasn't anything that I really looked forward to more than at the time than to just be able to like have this conversation with her. You know what I mean? Like, she was really somebody that I felt like who completely understood me, and she was always seeing me in the best of light, even when I didn't necessarily see myself that way. And I don't remember like most of what we talked about or anything really that we talked about, but I just know and remember how it made me feel, you know, and how like solid of a friend she was, and helping me just get through whatever, you know, kind of things that I was dealing with. And just, she was just a great person. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't speak to her anymore as of today, but I do have her, you know, on social media. We are still connected, and, you know, I wish the best for her. But that was just somebody that, you know, I can't quite put into words like how valuable her friendship was to me at that time, you know. And then moving on to high school. Now in high school, it was such a weird time for me, really. And I was going through a lot at the time. And like any, you know what I mean? Like, you're going through this like transformation, kind of hormonal, figuring yourself out, you know. And thinking back to it, you know,
sometimes I actually like cringe and feel physically uncomfortable.
Because I was just so much not myself, you know what I mean? Like, as much as, you know, no one really is their self in high school, so to speak, but I really just wasn't able to like really be me or who I could have been at the time, you know. I was going through so many things at home, and only after like getting through those things and looking back at it in my like early 20s am I able to like realize like how not myself I really was, you know. And just in high school, I was like a straight D student, you know what I mean? Just getting all D's. I never really like, I wasn't stupid, but I just never really like, I just never cared for real, you know what I mean? And it was because of like, partially because of like the things I was going through, and it just made me not really want to try. Up until halfway through like 10th grade, where I had gotten this new guidance counselor. I remember it was a new guidance counselor and a career counselor. Right around that time, I'm going in there, you know, they kind of having you talk about colleges and all this and that, you know what I'm saying? Like, getting ready to like just kind of like figure out what you're gonna do getting out. So that's around the time they preparing you for that, and I got this new guidance counselor. And I remember it was her and, like I said, this other lady that was like a career development. I'm not really sure what it was called, but it was like career development or something like that. But these two women completely changed my high school career. Like, OD, like, turn that whole shit around, for real. And if it wasn't for them, like, I don't even know, like, what my high school career would have, like, looked like, for real. Because I went from getting, like, straight D's, like, barely passing anything, failing shit, to I was getting, by the end of it, I had made honor roll, like, every quarter. I got accepted to every college that I applied to, and I got some presidential academic award, you know what I'm saying? Like, from D's to academic awards and getting accepted to every college I applied to, you know what I mean? Like, if that don't kind of like give you the scope of like just how much like these two women in my high school just really changed my whole experience, for real. Made me look at like the education and like learning, and like look like I actually started to value like being able to study shit and like getting good grades, and like, you know what I mean? I started to look forward to doing that type of shit just so I could like show them and be like, oh, look, you know, I did this and third, like kind of like, you know what I'm saying? I wanted somebody to just be proud of me, for real. You know what I'm saying? And like they were giving that and openly just expressing that, you know what I'm saying? And that just did so much for me, for real. I went to them about everything, yo. I was in that office, I don't even know how many times a day, you know, how many times a week, you know what I mean? So that in high school was like my saving grace. Them two women, amazing. I don't know where they are today, but I hope they are doing well. And, you know, it's much love to them, for real. And then last but certainly not least, now kind of tying it back to middle school now, I had met a very close friend of mine, really was like a brother to me at this point. It's like going on I want to say it's a 15-year relationship I've built, you know what I'm saying, with this person and their family. And at around 12 years old, my boy's mom and dad took me in and made me like really a part of their family. And I couldn't tell you, you know, sometimes actually a lot of the times I struggle with gratitude and just like, you know, looking at my life and, you know, finding things to just, you know, be appreciative of. But this woman and her family is really one of like my biggest blessings, like my biggest saving grace, for real, you know, to this day, for real. And I still remember like one of the first trips she took me on out of the state, out to Boston. We went to like this little museum, got some ice cream and everything. You know, it was just me, my dog, you know, and his two parents, for real. And this woman has become like the closest thing to a mother figure that anybody could really become to me. You know what I'm saying? Or like anybody can become to a person. And I wouldn't, through all the things I've been through, from, you know, the shit I was going on at home to like being homeless and not having nowhere to go, nowhere to sleep and everything like that, like this woman held me down through it all, for real. Like, just was always, again, speaking life into me, and just like someone that I could go to about like just real world shit, real life shit, and like just maturing and going through these phases of life, you know what I mean? And I can't thank her enough, you know what I mean? And to this day, just top 5, one of the most important women in my life, you know what I'm saying? I think I was just on the phone with her, like not even, maybe like about a week ago or something like that. I don't remember, but not too long ago. And honorable mention, last but not least, I know I just said that about the last one, last but not least, but honorable mention, for real. And this one, I can't, to really like give you the scope of like just how, what synced up this really feels like, just so by design, like it's crazy. And I didn't really want to necessarily, I didn't want to share this at this moment. I was kind of putting it off for a minute, but to really paint the picture, or help to paint the picture for you, I feel like I gotta share. So the most prime example of when I say things just feel too orchestrated, and just how women in my life have just really been placed at the right time, right place. In 2021, my mom had died. It was right before my 23rd birthday, and she died on the 23rd of like the previous month or whatever. And, you know, I was going through a lot. It was a really earth-shattering like experience, and it, you know, we always know that one day, like, you'll lose your parent, but you always think it'll be, like, later. You know what I'm saying? Like, you always say, like, it'll later. And you just hope that when it happens, like, you'll be ready for it, if you can even be ready for something like that. And in that moment, like, it really taught me that we can go any day. Like, that was the most surreal, sobering experience of just, like, yo, like, not a fucking thing is promised, bro. Like, you know, we think we know, like, yeah, tomorrow's not promised. Like, that seems like so common knowledge, or like whatever, but like, nah, that was like a fucking wake up call of just like, oh, you thought this shit was a game, you know what I mean? And it always been my ultimate goal to like buy back the time that I'd lost with my mom, you know, not having been able to grow up with her and everything. And it's just in one phone call, like, those dreams were just shattered, like, in one phone call, you know what I'm saying? That reality was just no longer possible. And I'd really lost my sense of purpose in when that happened. So one night, I'm on Instagram, just whatever, scrolling through whatever you do, doom scrolling. And around this time period, I was getting like a lot of like bots messaging me on some like sugar mom shit, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what was going on, some type of sugar mom scam or something like that, but that's just what I was getting a lot of. So, and one of these nights or one of these days, evenings, whatever it was, you know, this lady had reached out to me, and I'm thinking it's another one of these sugar mom scams, right? So I kind of asked him, like, what are you, some kind of sugar mom? She had said, like, hey, how you doing? Like, it was making small talk, and I just cut straight to the straight to the chase, and I was like,
yo, what are you, some kind of sugar mom?
And it's kind of surprised by the question. She was like, she laughed it off, and she said no. She was telling me she wanted to reach out to me because she had seen my profile, she came across it, and something about, you know, seeing my profile, she felt she needed to reach out to me, let me know, you know, there was something special about me, and, you know, that she could tell I was going through something, and that, you know, it was gonna be all right, and this, that, I don't know, blase. I don't remember all the details, but no bullshit. We have no mutual followers, never seen this woman in my life, like I know she immigrated to the U.S. from some other, you know, country on the other side of the world or whatever. So just no ties to this person whatsoever. And here she was reaching out to me and, you know, saying these things, talking about, you know, she could tell I was going through something, and she just wanted to let me know that everything was going to be all right, and like that, you know, that she saw something special in me, whatever. And so we chopping it up, we talking. And by later in the night now, she was just telling me, like, yo, if you ever need anything, you need to talk to somebody, whatever, like, I'll be here for you. You can reach out to me. You know, I'd love for you to stop by, have dinner, whatever, and, like, we could get to know each other more. That night, I was like, all right, like, you know, like, what's your address, whatever. I put it in my phone, seen it was, like, 15 minutes away. And I think she had invited, you know, welcomed me to come over. And, you know, naturally, like what you do when, you know, a random stranger from the internet that you just met invites you to come over, you pull up, right? So I put in the address, I slide, I probably get there like around, I see it's like 15, 20 minutes away, I probably get there like around 10-ish. And, you know, I'm waiting out there, I'm waiting, and I'm surprised as I'm getting to the street, I noticed, I'm like, oh, like, it's actually one of the same street one of my boys live on. So I'm in the car waiting. I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Like, why did I just pull up here? Like it was nothing. And she comes out to the front. I see her there. I'm like, okay, well, at least she's not like some creepy dude that's like just waiting to set me up type shit, right? But she definitely could be a creepy lady that's also waiting to set me up. So you could probably guess what I did at that point. I went inside. Yeah. I went inside. And honestly, I don't regret it at all. To this day, one of the most unique connections I've ever made in my life. You know, it was something special, you know what I mean? And something I'll, you know, think about for the rest of my life. I hope she's doing well. I'm no longer in touch with her now, but like this went on for like about a year and a half. And I would show up to her house like almost every weekend or every other weekend, spend time with her, you know what I mean, whenever I could, and just hang out with her and her daughters at night and watching a movie or something like that, just kicking it, whatever, you know what I'm saying, just on some calm, cool shit. And, you know, she really did a lot for more than she needed to, you know what I mean, for somebody I've never met before, and me being 23, 24 at the time, you know what I'm saying? Like, she just did above and beyond what she needed to do for me, and I'll forever be grateful for that, you know? And she just, and I specifically remember, you know, she would just always talk about, you know, again, just like, she would say, like, you know, you're like a son to me, you know what I mean? Or like, and just always was just very mothering, you know what I mean? And I don't know what it is, like I said, like, this is just throughout my life, I've just always, and I feel like it's really on some, to me, having not had my mom there throughout my life, God has always just like placed these women in my life that have always been so nurturing, so caring, so thoughtful, and like just always looking out for me and doing above and beyond what like I ever felt like I deserved, you know what I'm saying? And that's just a few women I'll mention. Like there's a few more that I could go over, but I won't just for the sake of time. Where it's like there's several instances where it's just, I don't even know, like this is just the energy I attract, you know what I mean? And like I said, I don't know if I give off some type of vibe of like I need to be mothered or some shit like that, but like, yo, to the women in my life that have, you know, gone out of their way to like really like be there for me and do, you know, just a little extra for me, you know what I'm saying? I even got women here out in Nevada where I'm at that, yo, they just be looking out, like no cap, like I don't know what it is, gang, like, but they just be looking out. And I literally just had some lady make me like a full home cooked meal. It was like, you know what I'm saying, like, I know you like to eat, this, that, and third, like I wanted to make you this, whatever. Shit was fire too, like I ain't gonna cap, but I thought, you know what I'm saying, I'll share that, you know what I'm saying, my unique experience, like I said, with just women being placed in my life, you know, during this Women's Month. What a better time to share this story. I've been working on upping my production, incorporating some more like, you know, B-roll, things like that, better ways of storytelling for y'all to make this more engaging. But peace.